Make sure to go and check out all of our latest merch at paddockmerch.com. We've got loads of new designs and even more products coming all the time. With 2 or more items, you get 20% off using the code Paddock20. And if you remember, there's even bigger discounts available. Link is in the description.
Jay here, Stretford, Paddock. This is the Paper Talk, and no, I'm not outside Old Trafford.
Why?
I'm in the studio, and I'm joined by Joe, who's getting in on the action on a Monday morning. Yeah. Why, Joe? Why are you getting in on the action?
Because Romano's confirmed that the Rangnick stuff's all done. We're expecting an official confirmation from the club.
Comunicado official.
Probably this morning, maybe later in the day, but today it seems as though everything's sorted and finished, and it should be announced officially very soon. But obviously, Romano's gone with it already. It is done. The deal is confirmed. We're just waiting on the official announcement, but, you know, the deal's done.
The deal's done. So we are just waiting for the club to confirm it, but Romano's gone with it. And it's all over the internet. Everyone's tweeting about it. Everyone's saying, you know, it's done. We're just waiting for, like Joe said, an official confirmation from Manchester United. Now, there is a little bit of intrigue as to what the situation is going to be like for the Arsenal game, whether he's going to be in the dugout, whether he's not going to be involved, whether it's just going to be Michael Carrick, whether he's going to be consulting with him. Who knows? We'll get into that a little bit later on anyway, but do get involved in the comments. Let us know what you think about Ralf Rangnick, what you think about any other United news you may have heard as well. And don't forget to give us a subscribe and give us a like. Hit that like button, please. Now, I'm going to read out. So, go on, Joe.
Yeah, what's Romano actually said?
Yep, then? Romano has said, Manchester United have official contracts and paperwork now ready to announce Ralf Rangnick appointment as interim coach. Deal until June. 2 years consultancy, in inverted commas, role confirmed. He'll have an influence on new manager decision and contracts expiring in the summer. So
I like that.
We kind of knew all that, didn't we?
Yeah.
Really. We know that he's coming in as the interim to the end of the season. So that's what Romano's saying there as well. We know that. Also, the 2 years consultancy role, he says that's confirmed. He'll have an influence on new manager decision and contracts expiring in the summer. I know you've spoken about this, but I'll just get your take on it. Does that make sense to you, all that? Do you sort of thinking, okay, yeah, but he's coming in to the end of summer, till the summer, but the fact that he can sort of lay the groundwork for the next manager and have a say in who it's going to be, are you happy with all that?
Yeah, I am, yeah. I think certainly above the people that are currently doing that job, he's got much more experience doing it. He's done it from the management side. He's done it from the director of football side, or whatever his official title was at the sort of Red Bull group. There's obviously a difference between running clubs in the 4th divisions and, you know, bringing them to top divisions. That's obviously different. But even if you just look at what he did at Schalke, what they did at Leipzig as well, he's taken 2 teams from relative obscurity or certainly from, you know, lower divisions to Champions League semi-finals, something that obviously isn't the ultimate goal for Man United, but I think we'd all take a Champions League semi-final right now. Do you know what I mean? Like, you can say, oh, he's never done it at a big club. Well, he's getting to Champions League semi-finals with essentially not nobodies, but, you know, small teams.
Yeah.
So if he can get Man United to a Champions League semi-final, and maybe the quality we have, which is obviously better than Schalke's in 2011 or Leipzig in, was it 2019 they got to the semi-final? Maybe we can go all the way with the right structures in place that he's, you know, got a very good track record of doing. I think the 6 months is obviously important just for, we've got to get top 4. Hopefully, you know, let's say a good push in both the Champions League and the FA Cup. Who knows, we may even get some silverware. Excuse me. But the 2 years is the important thing. That's the stabiliser. That's the one where you sort of go, we're building an identity for the club that goes on past this current manager and hopefully past the next manager and past the next manager. We've got some structure, we've got some idea of what this club's going to be long-term rather than just bouncing from short-term appointment to short-term appointment.
No, 100% agree with that. This sort of the short-term appointment thing, it hasn't really worked, has it?
Well, no, it hasn't worked at all.
No, I'm just, like, the point I was going to make is, you know, we've had some success because I rate the FA Cup and had a fantastic night in Stockholm. I'm not dismissing those trophies because they are trophies. You can throw in the League Cup as well, but that isn't really what you class as a successful model. Winning 3 trophies in 8 years at Manchester United and spending £1 billion in the process. Yeah. So it's like you look at Chelsea's model, you go, okay, that is a model that works because they win titles, they win Champions Leagues. You might not agree with it, but it works. Ours hasn't really post Sir Alex Ferguson because even those successes we've had have been a little bit underwhelming. Let's not forget, you know, the season we won the FA Cup. We finished 6th, I think, and Van Gaal got sacked. The season we won the Europa and the League Cup again, our league form was shocking.
Finished 5th.
Yeah, it wasn't great, and also, after that we didn't kick on and have a title challenge. Really, we finished 19 points behind Manchester City, even though we finished second. It was a distant second.
Yeah.
So this isn't a model that's working. So you need to do something different. And it seems like the Ralf Rangnick appointment isn't just appointing an interim manager; it's changing the entire model of what you're doing.
Yeah.
It's like saying, okay, let's get a football person in to help, not just look at what he's doing now, but look at the longer term and oversee the longer term. Because I was having this discussion with someone yesterday. United have always sort of, for me, mislabeled a long-term plan by just giving someone a long-term contract.
Yeah.
That's not a long-term plan. Giving Moyes a 6-year deal wasn't a long-term plan. It was just a long contract. Yeah. He saw out 8.5 months of it and got sacked. It wasn't like, we've got a long-term plan now. Well, you haven't. No. You've just got a manager on a long-term deal.
Do you know what a long-term plan would have been? Sticking with him. And I'm not saying they should have. I don't think they should have. The mistake was getting him in the first place. But like you said, just giving someone the theoretical assurance of a long contract isn't a long-term plan. No. It is a short-term plan that is extended for too long.
Yeah.
And hopefully this is a man that, none of the people who work above the manager at Man United, whoever that manager has been over the last 7 or 8 years, as far as I'm aware, certainly none of the ones that are, the big names at Manchester United, Woodward, Judge, even Murtaugh, Fletcher as well, Arnold, all these people, none of those people have had a direct hand and overseen the long-term strategy of a football club before.
No.
And certainly none of them have to any success. Ralf Rangnick has done that at multiple clubs.
Yeah.
Like, that's the sort of person who you need to be overseeing things at Manchester United, not someone who, I used to do a bit of investment banking and I got the Glazers some money, so I get to do whatever the fuck I want in terms of football decisions. Sorry for swearing at 10 o'clock in the morning, by the way, 11 o'clock. But you just think, we're finally getting someone in who actually, wait, you've done this job before?
Yeah.
We don't usually work like that around here, but you know what? You have done it before. That's pretty good. Coming for a couple of years.
Yeah.
Like, how is it so foreign to the idea and this alien idea that someone who has done a job before might be better at doing that job again than someone who's never done it?
Yeah.
The club is stacked top to bottom, full of people who have never done it. No. At any level, at any degree of success, all the way from top to bottom. That is embarrassing. We are finally putting, admittedly, only one person who has actually done it in their respective field in the past. And that's very exciting.
It is very exciting. Get involved in the comments. There are some comments here already, which I will get into. Hit that like button as well. There's over 1,000 people watching. Only 71 likes. Come on, people. That's disgraceful. Tunku Adikari says, he's obviously great, no doubt, but United is a different animal. The pressure and expectations are different, but I will back the manager. Yep, 100%.
The pressure and stuff is different, but like I said, if he can even do what he did at Leipzig, where you make us a sort of perennial title contender. I know they never really push back all the way just because the golfing quality. But like I said, getting to Champions League semi-finals and stuff, let's start with that, and I think we'll all be pretty happy.
Joseph Simon says he has raised some doubts over whether he will be ready for the game against Arsenal. I'll get into that now, actually.
Yeah,
There's a piece in the Telegraph, I think it's James Ducker who's running it, and he says, Ralf Rangnick in race against time to take charge for United's game with Arsenal. And it says United expected to announce appointment in the next 24 hours, but new COVID travel rules and wait on visa may mean German misses Thursday's match. It then goes on to say Rangnick faces an anxious wait to discover if he will be able to take charge of United's Premier League game against Arsenal at Old Trafford on Thursday. And then it goes on a little bit further to say the 63-year-old German is waiting formal approval of a visa, and that process, coupled with the need to self-isolate until he has returned a negative PCR test under new rules for foreign travellers, has raised some doubts over whether he will be in the dugout for the visit of Arsenal.
I'm going to say now, unless he's in the country already, he is not going to be in the dugout for the Arsenal game. It's 48 hours, well, more than 40 hours, but it's 2 days away, right? You've got to isolate until you get your PCR test back.
Yeah.
If he takes that when he gets in England, they usually take at least 24 hours, often 2 days.
Is there not a special one you can get, though, if you're rich and famous? No.
Hopefully, maybe
right.
there
No,
is.
I'm not being silly.
I don't know.
Is the one where you can go, United can go, right, like, we need this.
Can we get it done in 4 hours?
Yeah, immediately.
Okay, maybe there is. If that's the case, then we may have a chance.
It'll do like what we do. Drive down near Aldi in Eccles.
Yeah.
When me and my family had one, park his car up and just through the window, and then have to go home and wait like everyone else.
Yeah, that's what. Wait, are yours?
Yeah, wait.
Come back to yours and wait for it.
Ralph's staying with us for a bit. He's just had a PCR test and Aldi around the corner. So when he gets his results, he can go.
I think as well. Do you know,
kettle on.
we were talking before about if you could just get United's run of fixtures up after the Arsenal game. If you could just get that up, and we'll go through it.
Yeah.
I always thought there might be a bit of an incentive or a want to bring in the new manager, whoever it was, after the Arsenal game.
Okay.
Because obviously it goes Chelsea, Arsenal, just played City, just played Tottenham, just played Liverpool.
Yeah.
Read out the fixtures after the Arsenal game.
Okay, so you've got Arsenal on the Thursday, then on the Sunday, Old Trafford, you've got Palace. Then you've got, on the Wednesday, you've got a home game against Young Boys in the Champions League, dead rubber. You've got Norwich away the following Saturday, Brentford away I think the midweek game after that. Then you've got Brighton at home, Newcastle away, Burnley at home, Wolves at home, Villa away. That's probably your first tricky, but it's not like...
But come on.
Yeah. West Ham at home.
Again, tricky, but come on.
Burnley away, Southampton at home, Leeds away.
Who are 17th?
Yeah, even though it's Leeds and it's always going to be a tough game against them away from home, but still the 17th. Watford at home, and then you've got City away on the 5th of March.
And then you've got Tottenham, Liverpool, which is really tough. But between now and March, depending on who we get in the FA Cup, depending on obviously who we get in the Champions League, but in the league, you've got a run of like 10 games in a row there that are, you would describe as winnable, at best. Arguably not easy games, obviously, because, West Ham and Villa and all these, but if you're bringing a new manager in, that is exactly the sort of run you would like them to have. You probably don't want to start with a game against Arsenal that's a tricky game. He's probably not going to get much of his tactics sort of taught in 2 days anyway. Why would you give him the Arsenal game as his first game? Do you think he actually has any chance of improving the result against Arsenal if he doesn't take training until tomorrow? Is that does he?
It just
I think Carrick's got a better chance because he's had some consistency.
It reminds me a lot of when Ollie came in because if you remember, like Jose got sacked after the Liverpool game, and then Ollie's first 3 games were Cardiff away, Huddersfield at home, Bournemouth at home. 4 games, Newcastle away, and then it was Spurs away, which was his first tricky one. Then Brighton at home, Burnley at home. So he had that opportunity, just winning those first few games, that momentum, getting it going, getting back to winning ways. And, everyone was sort of Ollie's at the wheel and all that sort of stuff. So, I mean, it does kind of make sense. There's also, I will get to some of the comments in a minute as well. There's another story in the Telegraph. Again, this is Mike McGrath. We obviously had Mike McGrath on the channel a few months ago. He's talking about the sort of what could go on in January because he said there could be like a little bit of coming and going in terms of transfers. He says Donny van der Beek and Dean Henderson could leave United in January as part of Rangnick's rebuild. Jesse Lingard more likely to exit at the end of the season, but United still need to offload players first if Ralf Rangnick wants to add to the squad. And then he goes on to talk about obviously Rangnick being appointed, and then he says, it looks like Van der Beek and Dean Henderson could be two that move on. With Jesse Lingard staying to end the season as Ralf Rangnick looks to sort of maybe get some funds in, move some players on. It'll be interesting what happens with Dean Henderson. I don't know whether, he's going to look at it and go, because he likes to play football, play it like from the back and stuff like that as well. David De Gea isn't that type of goalkeeper. So maybe there is a chance for Dean Henderson to get himself back into the fold. We'll have to wait and see, because there's a lot of conjecture at the minute whether he is going to make some signings, make some transfers, whatever. We don't know for certain who he's going to fancy. I mean, I think he might not even know.
There. I wonder where that's come from because there's specific names mentioned there. And it's like, are those Rangnick's names? Has he already said this? Are we making it up based on the fact that, based on the fact that we think these are the players who will or won't suit his style? Why are we saying that Van der Beek's going to go? Why are we saying that Dean Henderson's going to go when the manager hasn't even arrived yet? It seems odd to me that because there's just as likely a chance that it might be McTominay that he doesn't fancy, or it might be De Gea that he doesn't fancy, depending on how he plays. Although he's mentioned before about giving the goalkeeper the ball the least of any player because they're usually the worst on the ball. So maybe they will go with De Gea, who is, I would say, weaker with his feet than Henderson is. Maybe he will go with De Gea because he just wants a shot stopper because he doesn't play out from the back quite the same way. As you would need to if with Henderson there. I don't know, but it seems odd to me that we're already naming specific players who Rangnick isn't going to like, and we're therefore trying to sell those players through
articles
online before the managers even arrived.
I know, and
Is
the
that
thing
not
is,
weird?
it is a little bit. And I like Mike McGrath. I know him, like, not know him well, but I've spoken to him a few times. And I know he does his he is a journalist who's tends to be one of the more reliable ones. So I'm guessing he's spoken to people there.
Yeah.
But it might be a case of he's got vibes from the likes of Donny van der Beek's people, or maybe Dean Henderson's people are indicating that they're looking for moves that, both of those players could feature in the World Cup. I know it's not in summer, in the winter, so they might be looking at that. But you don't know, because Ralf Rangnick can come in and go, Dean, you're my guy.
Yeah, they seem like
and I doubt very much Mike McGrath, and I'm not having to dig at the guy, has spoke to Ralf Rangnick, who's gone, I don't want Dean Henderson to be my goalkeeper. Because
they seem like the sort of outs that we would have seen if Ollie was still manager, not if with a new manager.
It does feel a little bit like it's a continuation of that. I'm going to get into some of the comments as well. Chili Sauce says, Donny van der Beek is not going anywhere, my friend. Mr. Soda says, sell them all to Newcastle. Ross Murphy says, like the video. We'll hit that like button. We've got almost 2,000 people liking. Only 200 people 2,000 people watching, only 200 liking. Come on, people. You can do better.
Get to 1,000 likes.
Yeah, if we get to 1,000 likes, Joe's going to show you his new T-shirt. Semi Rogers Mine says, welcome, Ralph.
Yes, welcome.
Andy Tate says, good news, guys. I think that is Andy Tate. Yeah,
are you excited about this, Jay? Because I know we've spoke about it, but I don't actually know what you think to him.
I am. Do you know what excites me the most? And this is proper beige.
I do, actually. It's a tuna mayo sandwich.
Go on.
A bottle
Joe
of
knows
Pepsi
me
Max
better
Cherry,
than anyone other than my lady friend.
Philadelphia sticks as your meal deal. I know that meal deal excites you.
Do you know what? I love when Joe. This is completely off topic. When we're ordering a takeaway, and wherever we're getting a takeaway from, Joe will just go, shall I get what you're having? He knows what I have from each takeaway, because I am setting my ways. Find what you like and stick to it, like your football team. Yeah. So yeah, do you know what it is with me, bro? I'm cautiously optimistic, and it's not the managerial side of things these next 24 weeks that excites me. It's the idea of...
Where'd you get that from? What's happened there?
What?
24 weeks?
Is that the rest of the season?
Yeah, but what made you think... Because everywhere I've seen that written down, it's been 6 months, 6 months, 6 months, 6 months, then 2 years. You've gone 24 weeks like it's a baby.
It's because I did the 3 Points in the Gaff podcast last night with Pundit J and Mike, says the City fan as well. City fan and United fan, don't worry, it's not just City. And he said 24 weeks. He kept saying 24 weeks. Pundit J kept saying it.
Okay, cool.
So that just stuck in my head, because it's 24 weeks for the rest of the season.
Yeah, no, it is, but I've just not heard anyone frame 6 months as 24 weeks in a very long time.
But I'll put a little thing in there, and there's a thing in the chat there as well if you want to check out that podcast. Yes, what I was getting to, is I like the idea of this structure. I've always moaned about the structure, about the fact we've got Ed Woodward or Joel Glazer overseeing the manager. Henry Winter was on this channel a few days ago, and he said he was shocked that what's his name, David Gill, left at the same time as Fergie. That was a massive error, he felt, because it just made it very difficult for United to keep some sort of coherence going, because you had a new manager with a new executive vice chairman who didn't really know what he was doing. But the idea of having a football person overseeing football matters, that I like. I don't know a lot about Rangnick in terms of what he's going to be able to do in the Premier League or the Champions League or the FA Cup this season. There's every chance it might take him,
a full 6 months to even get people playing properly.
So we might not end up with any silverware. We might not end up challenging. But I think the fact that longer term we've got this man in place who can help bring in his successor and have some sort of say in the overall football strategy side of things, and he's done that before at the clubs you mentioned, the Leipzigs and the other clubs as well, that excites me more than just what these... I don't look at it and go, well, now we've got him in, we're going to be shooting up the table and we're going to be winning the Champions League this season. But I look at him and go, now we've got him in, he seems to know what he's on about, and this seems to be the right sort of structure we should have had basically 2013 when Fergie retired, because that was the end of that style, wasn't it, of management, of doing everything. That is what gets me excited, bro. Yeah,
me too. I am a big fan of that. Go on, we've got super
I've got a couple of super chats and I'll get into some comments as well, because we don't just read super chats on this channel. Surish Adhavale, forgive me if I got that one wrong, says, to be honest, Donny should not go anywhere. He has so much to bring to our new team. If Pogba wants to leave in the summer, let him go. I think we've got a Paul Pogba story, which I'll get into in a minute.
People have turned now, haven't they? It's Donny over Pogba.
It's weird, that it really is.
Done essentially nothing for United. I know he's had good games, but Pogba's won us Europa Leagues, been huge in big games and stuff. I'm not saying Van der Beek's done nothing as in he doesn't deserve to play, but Pogba's actually done stuff at United. And yet everyone seems pretty ready to get rid of him now.
It is, yeah. I think I don't know. There was such a wave of like the Pogba FC and all that stuff for years, and I think it does get a bit sort of testing for your patience when the players getting injured and picking up knocks and losing a little bit of consistency, especially when from the beginning of the season he was doing so well. Brands29X says, very eager to get started and see what we can do moving forward. Love the lives. Get me through some tough days. Thank you. Thanks for that. I hope you're doing okay and there's better days ahead for everyone. Yeah, Connor Allen says everyone's just fed up with him. I
agree. No, I'm not saying you shouldn't be, and I'm not saying I don't feel the same. I'm just saying it's odd that it's like the current public opinion is Donny's great, Pogba's shit.
Yeah,
and that's all I was saying. I wasn't trying to
no.
that Donny's shit or Pogba isn't.
It is. Weird. I think there's a Paul Pogba story here in the Mirror. I'll just read this quickly. It says Paul Pogba's reaction to Ralf Rangnick's imminent appointment sparks Man United U-turn. And it says here that Pogba is said to be enthused by the idea. I know. Joe's reaction is me and Joe did a Paul Pogba debate.
I've just done a U-turn in my pants.
Yeah, we did a Paul Pogba debate, didn't we, bro? Yeah. And you made the point, and you know, we can peek behind the curtain. There was an element of Joe saying things that he needed to say for the purpose of the debate.
Well, they say that, but then also I do think he's earned a bit more respect.
Yeah.
And I do think he gets more slander than he deserves.
But there was a bit of you sort of forcing the point home a little bit more than perhaps, you would have done normally. But I get that was the idea of the debate. And it was this sort of thing of, oh yeah, if we get another manager in, you could unlock Paul Pogba. I think that was one of the points you make. Maybe that you can, under another system, another manager. And it's like, how many managers does it take to finally sort of get Paul Pogba settled or get the best out of him? We've had Fergie, if you can class Fergie, couldn't keep him here. Wanted to keep him, couldn't. If you want to go down the route, he was here in 2011 as well, wasn't he? Then you've got, obviously, came back under Jose. Everything was sweet for a season or two. Then it went sour. Massively went sour. Massively. To the point where Pogba, and he's the only player I've ever known to do this, spoke about the manager and said, if I want to say what I want to say, I'll get fined. And then Jose was having to address these rumours, was stripped him of the vice captaincy when he criticised the tactics. It became very, very toxic. Then Ollie came in. Everything was rosy. Then there was rumours that it wasn't quite as rosy as we thought. Pogba got injured, so that sort of put them to bed. Then you have now potentially Ralf Rangnick coming in, and people are going, okay, maybe Rangnick's the answer to this, and Pogba himself is sort of saying that.
See, the thing that annoys me with
Apparently,
Pogba,
anyway,
more than any of the on-field
reported
stuff,
yeah,
and there are things to be annoyed by with the on-field stuff sometimes with Pogba, like he's inconsistent, he gets injured, he doesn't track back and stuff the way you would want him to all the time. The main thing that annoys me is this shit. And some of it's his fault because of the comments that he and his agent, or he's allowed his agent to make over the years. Some of it has come straight from Pogba, the I want a new challenge stuff. Some of it you can blame him for.
That's the thing.
But some of it is just the way he's spoken about.
It's not. Some of it's not his fault.
Frustrating.
But the one where he wanted a new challenge was 100%. What made me laugh at that is I remember covering out the news and it was like he said it. I want a new challenge. I ain't got a problem with that. Fine. I'd rather he didn't. I'd rather he stayed. And I don't think just because we finished sixth and you had a good season, especially in terms of numbers, you should be going, right, that's it, I'm off now. But he said it, and then people were still going, he don't want to leave. I'm like, but he just literally said that himself.
You can't have a go in for that. Of course you fucking can.
Like, come on.
I fancy a new challenge, yes. I've enjoyed my husband over the years, but I'm thinking of a new husband maybe in the next few years. Maybe a man from Madrid might be good.
That's what I mean.
You can't go around saying that.
Like, you got to be honest about it and
especially
say, like,
you've got signed a 5-year contract with your husband. And
also, the thing with Pogba is, and this is where I'm coming from with Paul Pogba argument. If he sees out his contract, I ain't got an issue with that. I genuinely haven't. Ander Herrera did it, and a few people lost their minds with it. He had a 5-year deal. We had him for 5 years. He moved on. I don't mind that. No. I know people go, well, you don't get any money for him, and you won't get money for him, and we should be able to sell him, and he's not going to sign a new deal. We should sell him a year before the end of his deal, whatever. But that's by the by. I think if you get a player for that amount of time, and he does that contract, that's for me, that's okay. It's when you get all this other nonsense and this drama.
And what is this article then? What are the main sort of crux of this U-turn? Supposed U-turn, does it say?
It's basically
go through about 8 different adverts and 14 different images to get to the actual meat of the article.
I think there's the main line in it is that Paul Pogba is said to be enthused by the idea of playing under. Oh, here we go, Comunicado Official.
This is what we're waiting for.
This is it.
We knew
It's
this was coming today. Here we go. Ring out.
welcome to Manchester United, Ralf Rangnick. United
Derek Click.
appoint Ralf Rangnick as interim manager. There is an official statement,
Yes, man.
which I'm going to announce now. Manchester United is delighted
That is
to announce
sensational.
the appointment of Ralf Rangnick as interim manager until the end of the season, subject to work visa requirements. Following this period, Ralf and the club have agreed that he will continue in a consultancy role for a further 2 years. John Murtagh, Manchester United football director, said Ralf is one of the most respected coaches and innovators in European football. He was our number one candidate for interim manager, reflecting the invaluable leadership and technical skills he will bring from almost 4 decades of experience in
Started
management.
in the 80s, Jay.
That's when I was born. In management and coaching, everyone at the club is looking forward to working with him during the season ahead, and then for a further 2 years in an advisory role. Forget all that. Here's what Rangnick said himself.
Yes, man, we got a quote.
Here's the man himself. He said, I am excited to be joining Manchester United and focused on making this a successful season for the club. The squad is full of talent and has a great balance of youth and experience. All my efforts for the next 6 months will be on helping these players fulfill their potential, both individually and most importantly as a team. Beyond that, I look forward to supporting the club's longer-term goals on a consultancy basis. He then went on to say, I love Stretford Paddock. It's my favourite Manchester United fan channel. I watch it all the time. Make sure you hit that like button.
He did say that.
I can't believe he said that in his official
That's
statement.
crazy.
That is crazy. Disclaimer, he may not have said that last bit, but you know the dance.
Is it, and that's the end of the article. That's the real
Sorry,
quiz.
so that's the real quiz.
Scroll all the way to the bottom.
There's oh yeah, here you go. Here's something that is actually quite important. Michael Carrick will remain in charge of the first team until Ralph's work visa is finalised. The club wishes to place on record its thanks to Lokomotiv Moscow for their cooperation in the process of bringing Ralph to Manchester United. So I can't see anything there that's, unless I've missed it, that says he's going to be in charge for the Arsenal
That
game.
suggests to me he won't be. If they're mentioning Carrick there. Just read the Rangnick quote again.
The Rangnick quote, it says, I am excited to be joining Manchester United and focused on making this a successful season for the club. The squad is full of talent and has a great balance, like this channel, of youth and experience. All my efforts for the next 6 months will be on helping these players fulfill their potential, both individually and most importantly as a team. Beyond that, I look forward to supporting the club's longer-term goals on a consultancy basis.
Love it.
That's, you know, I mean, he's saying the right things there,
He's
isn't he?
saying all the right things.
He's saying all the right things. Get involved in the comments. Get involved in the chat. Hit that like button. It is official. It's not just Romano who's said it. It's official. The club have tweeted it. They've sent out the, you know, the statements to the press, all that jazz. Ralf Rangnick is the interim manager of Manchester United Football Club. Not very often we have a new manager at this club, but we've got one now. We've got the godfather of German football, Gegenpress, as he's being called. Is that right? Gegenpressing? Or is it just Gegenpress?
Gegen.
Yeah. Gegenpress.
Press. Yep.
Yeah, that's it.
Yep.
Gegenpress. Love that. That's how I love my Gegen.
Under George Foreman. Get it pressed.
Rebecca Jade O'Sullivan says, I love how people are still saying it's not official when United say it.
It is official. That's literally,
I mean,
we're reading that from Man United's website. That's a quote from the manager.
Yeah. It's about as official as you can get. This isn't some rogue social media intern who's just got hold of the club's Twitter and gone, tell you what I'm going to do for a laugh. Make up some Ralf Rangnick quotes and pretend it's been announced officially.
Have you watched much of him? Have you watched much of the speeches and the lectures and stuff?
Yeah, since the rumours sort of gathered momentum and it looked like it was about to happen, I went on the old YouTube. You should check out YouTube if you've ever been on it. It's decent.
Was it like a
YouTube?
shop?
It's like an online thing where you can watch videos.
Oh, like
that.
eBay or something?
Yeah, like that. Do you know what I mean? It's really good. It's like moving pictures on a screen.
Oh, like the silver screen?
Yeah, it's like that, but in your house. Yeah, so I had a look at some of his interviews and some of like just highlights and stuff. And I like to watch them. I've seen some other coaches talking about him as well, and it's obvious that this guy is, you know, he's quite innovative, as it says in his statement there. That's what they've said about him. There's a little bit of the unknown for me with it because I think we're all excited, and I'm not pouring any, you know, dampeners on it. Great, makes a lot of sense. Yep, I like the fact he's, like I said earlier, he's got a consultancy role. Obviously got bags of experience. The signings that he's made throughout his career, he's picked out some proper gems, absolute bargains.
Yeah, like genuine, like world-class players for under 10
like
million
Kimmich
quid.
and Keita and Mane and Haaland and people like that for just pennies, basically.
Loads of others as well that haven't gone on to quite the same scale, but Sabitzer and
there's untold, and you think, when he's built clubs, good shout, from like taking them from the third tier of German football to the Champions League semi-finals or whatever. He's done all that, but there is a part of me that's thinking, you know what? Okay, now he's in the Premier League. He's obviously got this style. He's got to get this style implemented to these players who might have been a little bit lost over the last few weeks because they've had this awful run, and Michael Carrick's come in and, steadied the ship a little bit, but now you've got a new manager coming in with new ideas. He's got to implement that. Obviously, it's tough in the Premier League at the minute. You look at the top three, and they're just sort of streets ahead of us. So he's got his work cut out, getting what looks to me, I know it's a bit negative in November, but looks to me going for that final 4th spot place. I think we have to be realistic there. So there's a lot to do, and you don't know how he's going to be able to do that in such a short space of time. He's only got 6 months. So there is a little bit of the unknown for me, but I'm excited. And like I said to you earlier, it seems like a sensible appointment. This doesn't seem like an appointment where you go, this is, a massive sort of risk, or this is someone who's not got the experience he needed to come to a club like Manchester United.
Or even someone like Conte, who, whilst is a relatively sure bet in terms of challenging and improving teams, he's a risk in that he doesn't really have the style of play that United fans and United envisage us playing. If we're in an ideal world, it's not Conte's style. And also, there's no guarantee of trophies, certainly this season. At the point when the manager's getting sacked, the league's probably off the cards. You know what I mean? Like, I think he makes a lot more sense, and his style of play is much more exciting, much more high, like high pressing, high intensity play that gets you off your seat, is exciting to watch, front foot football. And just watching the hours of him over the last sort of few days, the way he speaks, the way he gets his points across, the way he teaches his ideas, even on a sort of just an overview basis, you immediately believe him.
Yep.
Which is crucial when you're trying to teach someone. Believing the thing they are teaching you is more valuable than them not teaching you that thing.
Yep.
You immediately believe him. He gets information across incredibly well, statistics, ideas, fundamentals, without it feeling boring or overwhelming, talking about his 5 fundamentals, the 3 C's, all these different things. And you believe that he knows and he can teach you what to do. Not just does he know it, there's a feeling that he could... I feel like I could be pretty good under him. No. And obviously I couldn't, but he instills that immediately where you're like, fucking hell, this guy knows what he's on about. He knows exactly what to do at all times. I trust him. I believe him. I'm not saying every player will feel that, but you don't always feel that when you see managers interviewed and it's, it's just good to get, 3 points on the board and we're just focusing, take every game as it comes. It's like, bore off. Yeah. Like he speaks like an intelligent human being with his own ideas, and I feel like he can get those ideas across, and I'm really excited. Yeah, 100%. I'll get into some of the comments. Hit that like button, give us a like, and give us a subscribe if you're not doing already, with the news that Ralf Rangnick has been officially appointed as Manchester United's interim manager till the end of the season, and then he'll also be continuing with the club in a consultancy role for the next 2 years. SG's been a member of the academy for 11 months, says not going to pretend like I've been watching his teams for years, but all the quotes, super exciting. Guy talks a good game. That's like me, bro. 100%. Ash K S says, will Ralf sign any players in Jan? Would he persuade Pogba to extend his contract or let him go? It's too much of a hassle. I mean, I think they're all just waiting. We don't know, do we really? He'd like to sign some players in January. Yeah. Ross Murphy says first German manager to manage Man United. Makes sense. I mean, it's just one of those things where, everything you look about it, you think, okay, this is different, isn't it? Not just the first German manager thing, but having a manager come in who's got such a sort of established reputation and style in Germany, like who's sort of got that almost philosophy. And I know we've had that with Van Gaal, but no one knew what he meant. No. Do you know what I mean? When you talk about Van Gaal, I was in them press conferences, he's mentioned philosophy, and no one knew what he meant. No. This guy, everyone knows what his style is. I literally can put like numbers and data on his style. Yeah. Like winning the ball back within 8 seconds of losing it, scoring a goal or having a shot within 10 seconds of winning the ball back. Yeah. And I know that's only 2 numbers and stuff, but like you can boil his ideas down, especially his attacking and pressing ideas, in 2 sentences. And I know what that philosophy is now. I know every detail. I couldn't do it myself. I couldn't teach it, but I know it. Like with Van Gaal, we heard the word philosophy a lot. It seemed like a lot of sideways passes. That's what the philosophy it looked like on the pitch. Who knows how this will turn out?
No,
but it's massively exciting, and I can't wait. I proper can't wait because I just think United in my lifetime have never had a manager. Obviously, Fergie's this sort of incredible exception to the rule. He just breaks every rule of management, really, doesn't he? But we've never had a manager where you think of him as a tactical innovator. Like Louis was, philosophy, but
I think with Louis' philosophy as well, because when actually you scratched beneath the surface, it was more about how almost like the club was run.
Yeah.
He spoke about how the tea lady and people out were in his philosophy. That's nothing to do with your tactics. That's more like everyone's on the same page and, working together
and
sort of
Moyes
thing.
Had no obvious tactics to speak of. Jose Mourinho, again, he was a known quantity. That
if you've got tactics, you don't buy Juan Mata and Marouane Fellaini.
Exactly. Arguably a spent force by the time we got him, Jose. And Solskjaer, again, is someone who didn't really have that experience, didn't have a huge sort of tactical foundation to build off. It's exciting that we're actually getting a manager who, it's more of a risk, admittedly, but could be a genius, could really turn this club around. City did it. Chelsea did it. Liverpool have done it. United have never tried this, really, where you go with someone who genuinely could, be he could be a better manager than any of those. Yeah. His style could work better than any of those. Yeah. Before we're hoping, hopefully City have a bad week, and our sort of try our best mentality gets the better of them over 38 games. Yeah. There's a feeling here that if this goes right, obviously it might not. It's still going to be very difficult. We could be as good as or even better than those teams, because this is a system that is so strong, that has so many years of work in it, and is very modern and very up to date.
100%. Abhinav Verma says anything about his assistant coaches. We don't know yet. All it says on that statement, and I will read the statement out again in a minute, is that Michael Carrick will be staying on, or will be taking charge, I think, until the work permit is sorted out. I think there's a line here. It says Michael Carrick will remain in charge of the first team until Ralph's work visa is finalised. So we've not got the details of who he's bringing with him in terms of his coaches, or which of the coaching staff is going to be staying on. It looked like all of them were staying on, and that's what we were hearing, a few days ago, that McKenna and Phelan and Carrick were all going to be keeping the jobs. But we've not had any confirmation as to who Ralf Rangnick is going to bring with him. You'd think he would bring someone with him, like Josie brought with Farrier, didn't it? Yeah, there were rumours that he was going to bring some of his team with him. But we'll have to wait and see what happens with that one. I'm just going to get into some of the comments. Go on, before I get into some of
the... The thing with Rangnick is, the thing he's done in the past and the thing he talks about in a lot of detail on those coaches' voice things and other interviews, is how he's not just going to bring in a couple of coaches on the training ground. Yep. He'll bring in a scouting team. He'll bring in doctors. He'll bring in video people. He'll bring in like the best physios, the best everything. He doesn't. That's what he's so good at, revolutionising a whole club. Like I think when they were doing their sort of pressing at Leipzig, and obviously that's a high intensity, high energy style. I think they still had one of the least injuries in Europe, one of the best injury records in Europe. Maybe that's because they're using young players. Who knows? But he has these physios and these coaches. He talks about his own problem. He had a back issue and he needed surgery. The doctor said he needed surgery.
Do you know what? This is like what Steve said about he left one club because they wouldn't let him put a point at the doctor they wanted.
He goes to this guy who was recommended to him from a friend who tried a different way with it, tried different things. He didn't need the surgery. The back was fixed in 6 weeks. He then gets that same physio, brings him into his club, and all of a sudden they've got one of the best injury records in Europe. He doesn't just coach players. He does run the full club, and he does have... Let's try and get the best person in each role in, which is a way that it doesn't seem United do things. It's, did you go to uni with them? Yes, bring them in.
Okonomi Katsu says LVG philosophy is classic total football. His finest showcase of that is during our win against City 4-2. These disrespect towards LVG needs to stop. Bro, I sat down in my seat, right, and saw 3.5 months, whatever it was, of no goals at my end of the ground. Like, yes, the 4-2 against City was fantastic, but that football under Louis van Gaal was genuinely the most boring football I've ever watched in my life. I appreciate the FA Cup, and he was a great, he was a great character, and it was, like I said, I was in the press conference, he used to amuse us all, and was just a live wire. But that football was awful to watch for so long, and it was. And we can talk about his successes, and he obviously won trophies United, but it just wasn't great to watch at all. And respect him, it just wasn't entertaining.
It wasn't successful either. Overall,
he had 2 seasons. I think we finished 4th and 6th, and obviously won an FA Cup. It was like Petty says, LVG football sent me to sleep. It was it was interesting. People get someone's spamming us saying is Ralf in charge against Arsenal? We don't think so. It looks like there's a statement there on the Manchester United announcement where it says Michael Carrick will remain in charge of first team until Ralph's work visa is finalised. And I'm just going to go through the top of the statement as well, where it says United are delighted to announce the appointment of Rangnick as interim manager until the end of the season, subject to work visa requirements. So there is still a little bit of sorting out to do.
He's not ready to go this second, is he?
He's not ready to go this second. Tell you what, he's ready to go. You can get your t-shirt out for the lads and lasses.
Oh.
Hey,
go on.
Go on. Joe's going to get his
t-shirt from, Jay?
We've just had it made now. Because we react quickly to news here at Stretford Paddock. Hands on the. Joe's been on his heat press. Gegen press. I'm sorry, might have been my lady friend actually. So Joe's going to show you his new t-shirt. Let us know what you think about Ralf Rangnick. Who knows a lot about him? Get involved in the comments and the chat. If you've watched a lot of his teams, if you've been a big fan of German football, which is obviously where he's mainly been. Have you watched a lot of his Leipzig? Did you watch? I remember Schalke. I remember him coming to Old Trafford and getting pretty much tore apart home and away.
What size is this?
It's extra large, that, isn't it?
Is it 4?
I mean, it might be the large one, that then. Here he is.
I look pregnant.
You look hench. Hey,
I look fat.
Joe's coming in here. He's got his new t-shirt on. He's going to show you. So, yeah, let us know what you think about Ralf Rangnick as well. Here he is. Can you see that? Absolutely. There he is. Hey,
get on me single.
Get Joe on his single.
Come on, Callum. Yes, man.
Hey, there you go.
The Godfather.
Yes.
Look
so
his face. It's all red.
Yes. Check out paddockmerch.com. There's a link in the description, I think. I'll put a link in the chat as well, where you can go and get that t-shirt because we don't mess about here. It's all about the Ralf Rangnick era till the end of the season, and then paddockmerch.com, and then it'll be consulting till for the next 2 years, I think it is. I mean, yeah, just a sensible appointment. Abhishek says, wreck it, Ralph. Andy Tate says, yeah, baby. Jockey Trot says fire emojis. I think that's because your t-shirt, Joe. People liking that.
And someone there, Linville, says, could have been better. So cheers for that. Cheers. Show us your Rangnick shirt that you've got on the day it's announced. And then we'll see
it's right. What the fuck am I actually right? Says, looks good. So there you go. You see, you've had compliments mainly.
I'm gonna pass out in a minute. This t-shirt's too tight, Jay.
Right. It was the size you said it was.
Yeah, no. I need to take my other t-shirt off. That's what it is. Right.
We're going to wrap up there. Make sure you're checking out paddockmerch.com. There's a link in the chat. Go and check out that. We've got t-shirts there. We've got all sorts of merch. And we've got Ralf Rangnick merch. Why have we got Ralf Rangnick merch? Because he's just been announced as the interim manager of Manchester United Football Club to the end of the season. Then he's continuing in a consultancy role for 2 years. Make sure you're hitting the subscribe button as well. Let's get to 700,000 subscribers by the end of the season. And by the end of the season, Ralf Rangnick will have lifted the treble.
700,000 subscribers and 4 Champions League, 4 European Cups in United history.
Man. That's it's nailed on. Both of those things.
Something he's never done before.
Well, you have to break the mold, don't you?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? There's always a first time for everything, and this will be the first time for that. That's been Joe Smith. Go and check him out, Joe Smith 93.
Do you
on all
ship
your
to India?
socials.
Yes, we do.
And you know where to find me, Jay Motti. This has been the Paper Talk. Almost forgot that. It's been an extended version with the official announcement. That man there is the new Manchester United manager. Thanks for watching.